Okay. Good morning, everyone. So we are going to start with today's lecture. Uh, let's see what is done in the previous lecture. So the objective of today's lecture is to understand about the finite state machine by solving one more problem and to understand what is DFA. Okay. So we will solve one or two small problems of DFA, and that is the introduction of DFA. Okay. Uh, just before that, I just want to ensure, am I audible to you? Am I audible to you? Okay. Uh, s- so we start. Today's objective is, as I said, today's objective is to solve the problem of FSM and to understand about DFA, designing of DFA. So this is a very important topic because if you don't understand the design of DFA, then you will not be able to proceed further because the other problems are about designing of NFA and DFA, conversion of NFA to DFA. So if your DFA knowledge is not proper, then you will not be able to understand the rest of the syllabus. So you need to know this particular thing properly. I'm going to give you some homework problems as well as assignments and tutorials for this particular topic. So please you do that DFA part sincerely on your own. And in case of any doubts, you are always welcome to ask me on WhatsApp or by email. Okay, so let's have a recap. Uh, like we have studied about basic machine. Basic machine is just a mapping function which maps your input to the output. So your input symbol such as 00 is mapped to the output 0 because it is the design of here in this example it is a design of logic gate or. Okay, so basic machine is not having any memory or processing power. It is just a machine function which maps your input to output. The little power to this machine is added, and we have the input tape and read head, and it is called as FSM. So FSM consists of set of input symbols, set of output symbols, and set of states S. So it defines two functions, machine function and state function. Machine function is giving you the information about the output symbol generated, and state function is going to give you the information about the output state generated. So you may be in the previous state after receiving the input. What is the new state? So state function gives you information about state transitions, and machine function gives you information about generation of output symbols. Okay. Uh, then what you have to remember always with the machine is that there is an input tape which is infinite where you can store your string. For the problem of divisibility by 3 tester, you are storing your number such as 369 on the input tape, and the machine is going to read the number. It will read first the symbol 3, then 6, then 9, and it is going to tell you whether the number is divisible by 3 or not. Okay, so for 369 it will generate the output as y because 3 is also divisible, 36 is also divisible, and 369 is also divisible. Okay, so we have to remember always that there is an input tape and we store the input string onto the input tape, and there is a read head. This head can only read this cell. It can read a single bit of information, and by default after reading it goes to the right side. Okay, it cannot go to the left side. Whatever is there in the left side is already processed by the machine, so it cannot go to the left side once it performs a read operation. Okay, and it has a number of states. Machine is always in a particular state at any moment. Okay, once it starts, it is in one of the states. If it has 5 states, then it is in one of the states, and finally when the string is over, it is in the final state. Okay, so that's what we have seen. Then this is just an example where how this machine is transiting between the states. Okay, then we have seen about the problem of divisibility by 3 tester. Now, in order to design FSM, we have to find out the values of I, O, and S. and we have to draw the transition diagram. Okay, so such kind of questions are there for 10 marks in the exam, where you have to design the machine. So what are the steps? First, you write the definition of the FSM, then write down your logic, then you draw the transition diagram, and from the diagram you draw the table, and then write down the final answer. Okay, so each and every step carries some marks. Okay. So always you by heart this definition. What is the definition? Remembering definition is not a very easy task once you understand the machine. Okay. For example, this FSM, we can say that by looking at the diagram, we can say that FSM is a machine which may consist of the number of states, finite state of states. Like here, there are 4 states: QS, Q0, Q1, and Q2. So a finite state machine is a machine which can have multiple finite number of states, and the states are transited, or states are altered upon receiving some input, and the machine can also generate the output symbol. Okay, so that is the definition of FSM. FSM is a machine that consists of finite set of states that alters on receiving any input from input set of symbols I to produce output set of symbols O. And it has two functions: machine function and state function. Okay, so this was the problem of divisibility by 3 tester. Whenever you are designing, you first draw the state, and with respect to this state you draw the transitions. For here in this case we are drawing the transitions for all the inputs 0 to 9. Then you assume the next state, and with this next state you draw the transitions with respect to this Q0, all outgoing transitions of Q0. Okay, every state has some incoming transitions and outgoing transitions, so we are drawing always the outgoing transitions. Now you consider the state Q1 and you draw all 3 transitions of Q1. Then you consider Q2 and draw all 3 transitions of Q2. But for some of the problems you are not you will not be able to identify these transitions, all the transitions initially. So in that case you will go on developing these transitions as you go on drawing the diagram. Okay, but some of the problems you can identify all the transitions in the beginning only, and this is a very important step to verify the answer. Always you have to verify the answer. If you forget, or if you don't do, or if you are lazy to do this, your design may remain incomplete, because this designing is a trial and error process. Okay, someone like this particular problem, you can do the design with only 3 states with initial state as Q0. That is also a right answer, but it should work for all kinds of input. So if you are not careful, then your design may be partially correct, and then you don't get the marks. Okay, and now, okay, so I think you are able to understand. Any issues? Are you able to understand? Please reply me on chat or unmute yourself and answer. Is there any doubt in this? Is it okay? Okay, now we are going to solve today the next problem. That is the problem of designing of FSM for binary number addition. Okay, so as I told you, there are 4 steps. First step is to write down the definition. Now I'm not writing the definition here again. You can refer it from the previous problem. Then you need to identify your logic, then draw the diagram, and then draw the tables. So this is the answer for this particular question and the final answer. Okay, so I'll just read this question carefully. That the question is saying that do the binary number addition. Now for FSM, what is my job is that I have to identify the values of capital I, capital O, and capital S. Okay, so I'll write down the definition here, that FSM is a machine which consists of number of states, and the states are altered upon receiving some input from input set capital I to generate the output from output set capital O. Okay, so I'll write down the definition here. Now my logic. So I'll just go through this statement carefully. It is for binary number addition. Okay, so I understand that I have to add 2 binary bits of or binary number, and I should get the answer. So I'm writing it here, my calculation. This right hand side is my calculation. So I'm saying that I have to add 0 plus 0. If I'm adding 0 plus 0, I'm getting the answer as 0, and carry generated is also 0. Okay. Then for 0 plus 1, my answer is 1, and carry generated, and there is no carry. Hello. Okay. So for 0 plus 1, I'll say that my output is 1, answer is sum is equal to 1, and carry generated is no carry. Okay, so carry generate. So I'm going to represent the carry. If carry is present, I'm going to represent it by 1 here, and if there is any 0, I'll interpret it as a no carry. Okay, that is my way of solving this problem. Okay, so first I'm writing all these 4 types of inputs. So I've identified capital I. My capital I is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So like this in my tables when I'm writing, or here when I'm drawing the diagram, I've identified that there are 4 types of inputs. 0, 0 plus, or 0, 1, or 1, 0, or 1, 1. Okay, so I've identified capital I. Okay, so the in my logic I've identified capital I or sigma. Okay, now for DFA problems, we are not going to use this capital I or capital O. We're going to use some other words for DFA. Okay, when we are solving DFA problems. So I is nothing but sigma. Okay, because different books are using different types of conventions, and on internet also you will find out different types of solutions, different ways of solving the problems. I have referred lots of books and all internet and some tutorials, and then I have come up with my solutions to every problem. Okay, so I suggest you that you follow the lectures, follow my methods of solving the problems, so that there will not be any confusion. Okay. So here I have identified capital I. Capital I means instead of input symbols. So input symbols are made up of my input is made up of two symbols, 0 or 1. Okay. Even I can identify in this place my output generated. Output is made up of symbols 0, 1, either 0 or 1. So output is always a single bit generated, but my input is a string, like it can be a string of 0, 0. So I want to add 0 plus 0, that is equal to 0. So my input tape will have the input as 0, 0, and it may be in the state such as no carry, and then it may generate the output as 0. Okay, that way we have to interpret, because we are going to refer the diagram of input tape. Machine hai na ye. So in the machine, the 0, 0 is stored, and if the machine is in the no carry state, it will give the output as 0. It will do the addition, it will give the output as 0, and it will remain in the same state. Okay. Uh, if there is any doubt, you can unmute and ask me. Okay, because I'm looking at presentation, I'm not able to see any chat right now. Now there are so capital I is identified, capital O is identified. I'll say my initial state is S1, and it is a no carry state. So I have identified the initial state also. Now I have to identify how many states are there. So I will say that in my problem I'll have two states. First state will be a no carry state, and machine may be in the carry state. So either it will be a no carry or carry state. So I'm having two states. Okay, so till now, is there any doubt here?
Ma'am,
Till now, is there any doubt here?
ma'am,
Hmm.
there should be a state for some
Yeah.
being 1 or 0 also, no?
See, my output will be represented on the output tape. Output will be generated. It will be displayed onto the output tape. So for the output, I'm not going to have any particular state. Okay. You can design. You can design by your logic, but it should be correct, and you have to explain that logic when you are solving the problem.
So
Okay.
state is only for like the background working that happens to get the final output.
Yeah, output will be generated in the output tape. Okay, so suppose your number is 0, 0. Two numbers you want to add 0, 0, and then you like it is, suppose it is 0, 1 plus 1, 0. Okay, then what will be the output? First number is 0, 1, second number is 1, 0. So the output will be 1, 1.
Yes, ma'am.
So on the output tape, the output will be generated. So that is represented here in this diagram, that right arrow ke baad mein. whatever is there, that is the output symbol generated. Okay, but your input is there onto the input tape, and the state transitions are shown with respect to the states.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Right. Right now, what I'm saying is that I have identified my input symbols. Capital I is a set of symbols. So your input is made up of concatenation of symbols of input set. Okay. Here, if I'm at particular state, so don't go ahead. Right now, you just have to identify capital I, capital O, and capital Q. Okay. Don't think about how calculation is done. What is the answer? Okay. Don't go ahead. We will see that how it is calculated. Right now, my first step is to write the definition that I write. Then now I have to identify capital I. Capital I is a set of input symbols. Okay, so symbol is 0 and 1. My input is made up of combinations of zeros and ones. That's what I'm saying right now. Okay, right?
Okay, ma'am.
And then I'm
Understood.
saying that, and right now I'm saying that what is my output? Output is either 0 or 1, or it is a combination of zeros and ones. That's what I'm telling right now. Okay, and now I'm, as per my logic right now, what I'm saying is that I'm going to have a state S1, which is a no carry state. Means in that, when the machine is in this particular no carry state, the carry is not generated. Okay, and if the machine is in the carry state, then it is assuming that there is already a carry, and now it will read the next input. Okay, so no carry state indicates machine is in the, there is no carry generated in the previous calculation. And when the machine reaches this particular state, S2 carry state, it is assumed that the previous calculation has generated some carry. Okay, and here the previous calculation has not generated some carry. So it is a no carry state and carry state. That is my logic. Okay, now we'll see how it is designed. Okay. Now I can also identify initial state that I'm going to design, or I'm going to draw this diagram by assuming that my initial state is a no carry state. Okay. So we'll see this how this design is done with the help of animation. So what you have to do whenever you are drawing the diagram, you first draw the states, no carry state and carry state, like this, and you write down that this means that no carry, this means the carry state. Now I have created two different tables. So assume that you are the machine and you are solving the problem. So assume that you are reaching over here as initial state. Now you are, or your machine is in the no carry state. And by assuming that, you will draw the diagram. Then you assume that, then you shift your focus from Q1 to Q2. And then you assume that you are in the carry state, or machine is in the carry state. And if the input is received, then what will happen? Okay. So any doubt in this? Assume that whenever you are drawing the transition diagram, you assume that you are, machine is in the no carry state and any input is received. And what kind of input is received by the machine? It can be 0 0 or 0 1 or 1 0 or 1 1, and you have to do the addition of that. So first do that. Then you shift your focus to another state like carry state. So assume that the machine is in the carry state, and now it is receiving some input. Like it may receive 0 0, but it is in the carry state. So the result will be, in the result again the carry will be added. Then assume that what is the input here? Input can be 0 1 or 1 0 or 1 1. So the addition will be done, and in that addition that carry will be added, and you get the new output and a new state. Okay, so as per here, this 0 plus 0 is equal to 0 and no carry generated. 0 plus 1, answer is 1 and no carry generated. 1 plus 0 is 1 and no carry generated. Okay, no carry generated. 1 plus 1 will be equal to 0 and the carry is generated. Is that this thing everyone knows? Okay, now here. So assume the first transition. The machine is in the state Q1. In the state Q1, it is receiving the input 0 plus 0. So the output generated is equal to 0, and carry is not generated. So it will remain in the no carry state. So like this here, I can say that if the machine is in the no carry state, and if the input is 0 0, the output generated is equal to 0, and machine will remain in the same state. Okay. Now after this, suppose there is any 0 plus 1. is the input in the no carry state. You are working with the no carry state. So here in the no carry state, if the input is 0 plus 1, then what will be the output? Output will be 1, and there is no carry generated. So it will remain in the same state. So 0 plus 1 is equal to 0, and it is remaining in the same state. Now the next input is 1 plus 0. So if the input is 1 plus 0, then the output is 1 and carry is not generated. So it will remain again in the same state. That 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, and it is remaining in the same state. Now with 1 plus 1, your answer is equal to 0 and carry is generated. So answer is equal to 0. The sum is 0 and a carry is generated. So in that case, machine is in the no carry state, but now the carry is generated. So it has to transit to the another state. So with this 1 plus 1, it will generate the output as 0, and it will transit to a new state, that is Q2, that is a carry state. Okay, so now for this particular state, for every input, the transitions are done. There are four types of inputs: 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. For all four types of inputs, these transitions are over for the state Q1. Okay, now we focus on Q2. So assume that the machine is in the already in the carry state. Now machine is in the carry state. Now what kind of input can be there? Input can come as 0, 0. So if the input is 0, 0, then what will be the answer? 0 plus 0 is equal to 0 plus carry. So plus 1. That means the final answer is equal to 1. But now there is no carry. Now there is no carry. So it will transit and it will go back to the no carry state. So with 0, 0, the output generated is equal to 1. This step is difficult, little difficult to understand. Assume that your machine is in the carry state. And if the input is 0 plus 0, it will do the addition of 0 plus 0, that is equal to 0. But it is in the carry state, so carry will be added to that 0. Final answer is equal to 1. But now there is no carry. So there will be a transition from carry state to no carry state, and it will become as 0, 0 is equal to 1, and it's going back to the Q1 state. Okay, now for 0 plus 1, the answer is equal to 1, and but the machine is in the carry state, so carry is added. So it is becoming now 1 plus 1 is equal to 0, but a carry is generated. So the output generated is equal to 0, but the carry is generated. Okay, so here the output will be 0 plus 1 will be equal to 0, and the carry is generated, so it will remain in the carry state. Okay. So, whenever you are saying that your machine is in the carry state, means that the previous calculation has generated a carry and the machine is in the carry state, and now it is waiting for any input to receive. So it will now the next input is 1 plus 0. So if it is in the carry state, 1 plus 0 will generate the output as 1 plus 1. 1 plus 0 will give you the answer as 1. But the machine is in the carry state, so carry is added. So 1 plus 1 will be 0 and carry is generated. So it will remain in the carry state. Now for the next input, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 0 and a carry is generated. Plus the carry is added. So it is becoming 1, 1. That means the output is 1 as well as the carry is generated. So carry is generated, so it will remain in the carry state. So for 1 plus 1, output is 1 and the carry is also generated. Okay. So this is the now check whether all the transitions are done. So for Q2 also all four there are four types of inputs. So all four types of input के लिए Q2 transitions are also done. So we are done with the calculation. Now the step 4 is about writing the final answer. There is always 1 mark for writing the final answer. For each and every designing problems, you have to write down the final answer, and there is 1 mark. So even if your total entire design is correct, but if you're not writing it, then you may get only 9 marks out of 10. So it's not difficult to write. You just have to write that FSM is so the FSM for binary number addition is capital I, capital O, capital S, where I is a set of input symbols, O is a set of output symbols, S is a set of states, and all these states are finite. Okay, so you can write here finite. And so capital I is equal to all four types of inputs. So 00 or 01, 10 or 11 is the input. Any one of the element of the set is the input. So it is a set. Set means the elements are separated by using this comma. And my first element is 00 in the bracket. Or the second element is 0, comma 1. Or you can have another separator character such as 0 hash 0, and then you will have to do some calculation for hash, but that we are ignoring for the basic level problems. So the number is 0 comma 0 means 0 plus 0. So four types of input is there. The output is either 0 or 1, and the states are q1 and q2. And you say that machine transition function MAF that gives you information about the output symbol generated is as per the step 3, that is a transition table and a transition diagram. And state transitions are as per the step 3. Okay, so the transition table, we will see the we'll see the transition table. So here, drawing the transition table is not difficult task. You just look at the diagram and draw the transition table. So what I'm doing here is that for MF and STF, I'm drawing the table. In the table, this left-hand side contains capital I, and here we write down the states. Always remember I, and I is to the left-hand side. Input is at the left-hand side, and states are represented horizontally. So I'm just drawing these two tables, MF and STF, S1, S2, all the inputs. Now for creating MAF, I have to see the diagram and see the output. So if the state is S1 and if the input is 0, 0. So state is S1, input is 0, 0, the output generated is 0. So just copy that, here 0. Then S1 with input 0, 1, the output is 1. So S1, this S1 with 0, 1, the output is 1. Then S1 with 1, 0, the output is 1. S1 with 1, 0, output is 1. So like this, you will write down the output symbols here. And here you will write down the, this is a previous state and this is the next state. So here you are saying that your previous state, current state is S1. In the state S1, if the input is 0, 0, the new state is S1. Or if the machine is in the S1 state and if the input is 1, 1, then it is transiting and the new state is S2. So here we are writing S1 hai, the input symbol is 1, 1. So the new state will be S2. So like this we draw the transition table. Okay, so overall for FSM you write down the first step as a definition, 1 mark for the definition, 1 mark for the final answer, and your design carries more marks. Here you may have 2 or 3 marks depending on the complexity of the problem, and then remaining marks are there for the diagram and table. Okay, so you have to identify the input output states, write down that and represent your logic here, and then draw the diagram, draw the table, and then write down the final answer. So there are total 10 marks for such. And now I'll ask some questions. So any doubts, you can unmute and ask me the doubts. So please interact properly so that I feel that you are understanding. Any doubts? Anyone has any doubts? Okay, here in this case, this FSM is the type of FSM where there is output symbol generated. So there is no final state as such. It is not a DFA or NFA. It is a DFA with output symbols. So there is no particular final state. So the design will not have any final state for this because the output string, for every input string, output string is generated. Okay, this FSM can act as a FSM can act as a acceptor or rejector of a string. Okay, suppose it is a sentence of your compiler, so it has to check that whether the sentence is written as per the syntax. Then it will accept the string or it will reject the string, and then it will go to the final state. So if it is reaching to the final state, means it has accepted the string. But if your machine is acting as a generator, like for a corresponding input, it is generating the corresponding output. Like suppose your A should be replaced by 0 and B should be replaced by 1. So if your string is ABC and you want the output, suppose your string is ABA and you want the output as 010. Then for the input string, it is generating the corresponding output string. So in that case, your FSM is acting as a generator who is going to generate the output string for the input string. So in that case, it may not go to the final state. Okay, like here in this example, we are doing the addition, and for addition of every bit, some kind of output is generated. For the previous problem of divisibility by 3 tester, for every digit, it was generating the output as either y or no, yes or no, yes or no. But we were showing in as per the logic that whenever it is divisible by 3, it may be the final state. So for this particular problem, I don't feel that it is relevant to show the final state because it depends on the number. And it is not a fully powerful machine like Turing machine, which will give you the proper way of answer. It can tell you that whether what is the addition and whether it is a carry generated or not generated. Okay. Any other doubts? So is it clear? Your doubt is clear or not? Okay, so we'll go ahead. So this, see on FSM, no, they don't ask, like they ask only one type of question, designing of FSM, and there are 3-4 types of problems which are asked in the exam. So I'll give you 2-3 problems as a homework and tutorial part, and then this topic is over. Then there are no more questions which are asked on FSM for this such kind of design. So there is sometimes they ask on for 10 marks. But the main problems which are asked on DFA and NFA. Okay. So before starting with the topic of proper DFA, we should have some kind of background or some kind of basic terms which we should know. Uh, first we will see the meaning of all these terms, and all these terms I'm going to use again and again. So it is very important for you to remember these terms. Okay, so the first, like this subject के लिए prerequisite is a discrete structure or discrete mathematics, and some background of sets theory or strings is required, but it is not that difficult. You just remember the important terms, and then you will be able to grasp. Okay, so here the first term is about the alphabet. Alphabet means that it is a non-empty set. It is a finite. Finite is also important here. Finite non-empty set of input or output symbols denoted by sigma. Okay, so it is similar to the previous problem of capital I. Capital I is a set of input symbols or capital O. So sigma is nothing but capital I or capital O. Okay, so alphabet is represented as sigma. This sign is called as a sigma. Sigma means alphabet. It can be input set of symbols or it can be a output set of symbols. So for example, your sigma A comma B, then your string is made up of A's and B's. And it can be a input string or it can be the output string. Okay, like sigma is equal to Y comma N. So it is the output alphabet. So sigma is similar to capital I. Okay, so I think this is very easy. Sigma means the input alphabet or output alphabet. If it is input alphabet means it contains the input symbols. And if it is output alphabet means it contains the output symbols for the string that is accepted or rejected. or generated. Then the second term is called as a string. String is nothing but group of symbols combined together. Okay, so if your sigma is equal to a comma b, the strings means your input alphabet is sigma is equal to a comma b. Then your string can be a small a or small b or double a or double b or a b a double b. So any combination of a's and b's will give you the string. But the length of the string should be finite. You cannot have an infinite string, but the number of strings which can be generated from this sigma are infinite. So here dot 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 are there. You can go on generating any number of strings, but the length of the string is finite. Okay, so your string from A and B, the string can be AB, and if it is AB, then the length of the string can be represented by X in mod, and for this it is 4, or for the string ABB, the length of the string is 3. So this is very easy to know, length of the string. Okay. So what are the terms that we have studied? Alphabet means it can be a input set of symbols such as A comma B, and the string is the group of symbols which are combined together from the sigma. Like BAA is a string over this alphabet AB. Okay, so when we are talking about it, I'll say that ABAB is a string over the input alphabet sigma. Means ABAB is a string generated from this set, which is an input set, and it contains only two symbols A and B. And ABAB is a combination of A and B symbols. Okay. Now there is one more important string which is used in solving the problems, that is a null string or empty string. So null string means nothing, no, nothing. It is not even blank. It is nothing, null string. So the length of this string is 0, and it is represented as small e. Some of the books or some of the websites, it is represented as small e or this epsilon symbol. So we can write it as epsilon or epsilon symbol and cap. So I'm going to use this epsilon symbol in my problems. Everywhere I'm going to use this epsilon. I'm going to use sigma to represent my input alphabet. And I'm going to use epsilon when I'm solving the problem, this epsilon symbol. But in the books, if it is a cap, it is a null string, or it is same. The small e, epsilon, this cap, everything is same. Okay. Now the next term is about the language. The language is denoted by capital L, and we can say that suppose my sigma is equal to a comma b. The language L is a set of strings which can be formed over this alphabet. So language L is a set of strings which can be formed over this alphabet. Now suppose in my problem I am saying that I have a language L that is equal to the strings which are ending with the letter B. L is a language that L is a language that contains strings ending with the letter B for sigma a comma b. Okay, so then what can be the strings which are there, the part which are the part of L? L is a set of strings. So it is also a set. But these strings are not any random string. These strings are generated in such a way that they follow certain rule. So all the strings, if you observe all the strings are ending with small b. So if your string is ending with small b, before that it can be anything. So then it is the part of this language. Okay, so say, suppose I say that ABA. So if the string ABA can be generated, this from A comma B, ABA can be generated. So if I look at ABA, I'll see the definition of the language, but the language says that it should end with small b, but ABA is ending with small a. So ABA string is not a part of this language. Okay, so we cannot have this string as a part of this set L. So L will contain all the strings which are ending with small b. So what is the minimum length string? Minimum length string is small b. See, identifying minimum length string for a particular language is very important, because we are going to start our designing of DFA by taking the small string, and then we'll go on drawing the transition diagrams. So always for any language, you need to identify what is the minimum length string for that particular language. Okay, or if you have a epsilon null string also, depending on the language, language can also have a null string as a part of the language. Some in some of the languages, but here for this first problem, it is not epsilon. because they are saying that the length of the string should be ending with letter B. So minimum length of the string is B. Okay. Um, so any doubt in this slide? Now you should also know about the concatenation of two languages. So concatenation of two languages are denoted as L1 dot L2, and the definition of L1 dot L2 is L1 dot L2 is equal to X dot Y, where X belongs to L1 and Y belongs to L2. Okay. So let's equal to 0 comma 1, and the language L contains two words 0 0 and 1 1. In my language there is a particular language and the language contains two words 0 0 and 1 1, that is represented as L1. Okay, there is one more language L2 which has two strings 10 and 1011. Then L1 dot L2 will be equal to you have to take X from here and Y from here. So concatenate them, means combine them together. So 0 0 is combined with 10 and you're getting the first element as 0 0 10. Then 0 0 is combined with the second element. So 0 0 10 is the 1011 is the second element. If there is any third element, this 0 0 is combined with the third element. Then 0 0 is combined with the fourth element. Like this, you have to go on doing. Once all the elements of L2 are over, you go to the second element of L1 and again repeat the same thing. So the third element will be 1 1 and concatenate with 10. So it is 1 1 1 0. 1 1 concatenated with this is equal to this last element. Okay. Now you solve this problem. Second one, sigma is equal to 0 comma 1, L1 is equal to 0 1 1 0 and L2 is equal to 1 0 1. So unmute and just reply, or I'll have to ask someone. Ayush Yadav.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you solve this problem?
Which one, ma'am?
This one, L1 dot L2. Sorry, now it is visible. I'll solve this L1 and L2. Your question is L1 is equal to 0 1 1 0 and L2 is 1 0 1. And I'm talking about concatenation of two languages. So L1 dot L2 means that you are taking X from L1 and Y from L2 and you are combining them together. So what is the answer for this? See, the one problem is solved over here, no? I said that you take the first element from here, concatenate with the first element of second language. Then first element here, then concatenate with the second element of L2. Then again take the first element from here and first element of this. First and second. So first, second, second, first, and second, second. And that will be the answer. So here 0 0 1 0, then 0 0 1 0 1 1, 1 1 1 1 0, 1 1 1 0 1 1. Like this, solve this problem. So what is that set? Hello, Ayush.
Ma'am, 0 1 1 0.
Yeah. 0 1 1 0.
0 1 1.
Yes.
1 0 1 0 and 1 0 1.
Yeah, correct. So this is your L1 dot L2. And this is called as concatenation of two languages. So there are, suppose you are given L1 and L2 and you concatenate and you get the third language that is called as L1 dot L2. And these are the elements of L1 dot L2. Okay, so concatenation means compulsory. First is also there and second is also there. So both it is a combination of both the languages. So we are going to use this term again and again in DFA and NFA. Plus we are going to use this closure and this plus closure. This is a positive closure plus, and this is a star closure or clean closure, L star, which is also used frequently. So you should be thorough with all these terms. Okay. So what is L star? L star means it is a set and in which L is repeating for 0 or more number of times. So L is present in the set, but it is repeated for many number of times. But it can be repeated for 0 times also. Okay, so this is a mathematical definition. One example is here. Like suppose sigma is equal to a comma b and L is equal to ab comma ba. Then your L star will contain epsilon because it can be repeated for 0 times. If L is repeated for 0 times, there is nothing. So that's why the first element is epsilon. Then suppose L is repeated for 1 time, it will have AB and BA. If L is repeated for 2 times, then you may have AB or ABBA or BAAB or BABA. So combination of all these strings. So like this, you can go on having infinite number of elements in L star. And we are saying that in L star, L can be repeated for 0 times. If it is repeated for 0 times means it is not there. So the first element is epsilon. But if it is repeated for 1 time, you will have ABBA. And then you will have combination of, which you will have L1 dot L2, L1 dot L, sorry, L dot L. So L1 dot L1, L2 we have studied, no, here. So L dot L will be AB, that is the first element, then ABBA, then BAAB, and then BABA. Okay, so this is L dot L. These last 4 elements are L dot L. So like this, you can go on having the elements in L closure, and uh, you can have infinite number of elements. Okay. The second one is about the positive closure. In the positive closure, it is represented as L plus, and it is represented as L plus, and the definition is that the um, set it is a set of language L which is repeating for 1 time, at least 1 time, and then more than any number of times. So we can have the equation of L plus as L plus is equal to L into L star. We can write here L is equal to L L into L star. L into means L dot L star. So this is the equation of L plus. And so one example, if sigma is equal to AB and L is equal to ABBA, then your L dot L star is L plus, that is equal to at least for 1 time. So ABBA is there, and then L dot L. L dot L will have 4 elements. L dot L means this multiply AB with BA. Okay. So we'll have we'll see what are the basic terms that we have studied. So we have studied about alphabet, that we can have a sigma as alphabet, and it is an input set of symbols or output set of symbols. String is the group of symbols combined together over alphabet. So if your sigma is AB, you can have multiple strings AB, BA, BA, AB. But if your language says that your language is a language that contains strings ending with small b, then only this many strings are the part of this language. You can generate multiple strings, but only the strings which are ending with small b are the part of this language. So this language contains set of words which are the strings which are ending with b, and it can have any number of strings. So it can be an infinite set. Okay, then always remember epsilon. I'm going to use the symbol epsilon, and epsilon means nothing. Okay, then we studied about concatenation of 2 languages, L1 dot L2, L star and L plus. So L1 dot L2 means multiply, but compulsory, and L star means epsilon is there. And if you remove this epsilon, you get the answer for this L plus. So here L star is equal to, yeah, that we have discussed. Okay. So now there are only 4 minutes which are left. Okay, so we will go to the quiz. Okay, so we will solve the quiz next time, and in the next lecture. By that time, you can. I'm just telling you about FA. So see this slide. This FA. There are two types of FA: DFA and NFA. Okay, there are two types of. Now we are going to use the term as finite automata. Okay. Here onwards, I'm going to use the term as finite automata. I've taken the examples of FSM with output because it is very easy to understand and you just get a feel of the subject. That's why we have solved two problems of FSM. Okay, now we are going to, I'm going to use the term as finite automata. Okay, finite automata is nothing but FSM, but the another name. Now FA का दो types है, there are two types, DFA and NFA. DFA, we can have DFA without output symbols and DFA with output symbols. So in the next lecture, we are going to solve the problems of DFA without output symbols. Now DFA with output symbol is nothing but the FSM that we have solved, but representation of them can be different with respect to the names of these machines. Like there are two types of DFA with output, Millet machine and Murray machine. Okay, so this part is over. FA का types है DFA and NFA. DFA का types है DFA without output symbol and DFA with output symbol. DFA with output symbol, there are two machines, like two ways to represent, Millet machine and Murray machine. NFA can be there with epsilon symbol and NFA can be there without epsilon symbol. Now why to study FA? Because this finite automata is extensively used in compiler construction. For example, you may have the statement such as A is equal to B plus C and semicolon. So this statement, when it is given to the compiler creates this identifies that small a is ID1. It is an identifier. Then equal to means suppose the assignment operator. It identifies B is a second identifier and C is a third identifier. Plus is the operator and the number of the operator is plus, first number. Then semicolon is a punctuation symbol and they are numbered. And then if this particular sequence is followed, machine goes to the final state and it is accepted and there is no error. Okay, like this is an approximate diagram. This is not a एकदम correct diagram, but just to give you the feel, like how this particular topic is used in compiler construction. Or there is one more diagram here for identifier. So in the AD language, the identifier cannot start with underline. Identifier can start with letter. It can follow any letters or digits. It cannot end with underline also, underscore. So in that language. So what, this is a diagram for that identifier. Okay, so if the string is starting with the letter, then it is okay. But if it is starting with the digit, it is going to the dead state. Now here, if you observe this state, here once the machine is in the dead state, it cannot go to the any other state. It is remaining in the same state. So with underline or with digit, it is going to the dead state. If it is starting with letter, one more letter is allowed, one more digit is allowed, any number of letters are allowed, any number of digits are allowed. With underscore, it is going to the next state. With letter or digit, again, it is going back to the final state. It can go. Okay, so we'll repeat this thing. But this is an example or application of a finite state machine. Okay, so right now, any doubts in this particular topic? Just reply on chat. Any doubts? Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture. I'll modify the quiz and I'll assign the new quiz to you because the quiz is containing some extra questions which are not covered in today's lecture. Okay, so see you tomorrow, next lecture. If you have any doubts, you can answer. You can just send me on chat.